It's New Year's Day 2026, and a quarter of a century is finally over. I woke up today, and if you know me, you already know how my day started. I started the day the way that I normally start it, with a podcast interview. Actually, I had a couple today. One was with a guy tackling a massive problem, pensions worldwide, like real pensions. He literally sets up pensions for countries, and they've helped a lot of people through their platform and really around the world. I also had an interview with a filmmaker. They're releasing a new film, and this was for another series that we're working on for AFM, American Film Market. And they were talking about the premiere, what's coming next. So it was a pretty full morning on New Year's Day, but I also felt fitting because one of the things that I've always liked about New Year's really is optimism. The hope, the feeling of a clean slate, a new beginning. I've never really been a big birthday person. Birthdays never really mattered too much to me, honestly, but New Year's, I love New Year's. I like the idea that you kind of get a redo. You get to start over. You get to start fresh. And I always, me being me, curious, I always ask people around me this time if they're making resolutions. And if they're making resolutions, like what are they? So I'm just curious about this always. Now, I know some people don't like resolutions. They think, oh, maybe I've tried it before. It doesn't work, or I'm just going to keep working on my goals, or they really just don't see any significance in the calendar flipping. But I personally think that there's opportunity there. A real opportunity exists because a new year can be really a pattern disruption. It can be a break from your just normal day-to-day life and just, waking up, going to work, or whatever the next thing is you're doing. It's a pattern disruption. And this year is a significant year. I mean, moving from 2025 to 2026, it hits a little different because if you zoom out and if you think about closing a quarter century and you think about it, this isn't just another year. It's the close of a quarter century, 25 years. And I know in the U.S. specifically, we're obsessed with quarters, quarterly earnings, quarterly results, quarterly goals. Even when I was in finance, that's how you live your life. That's how we looked at everything. You look at charts. You look at the market, you look at performance, and you're always looking at quarters. And if you zoom out the chart, so if you can picture this, if you zoom out the chart, you might look at maybe years next. But if you keep zooming out and you think about the last 25 years, perspective can change. For me, it's kind of crazy to even say out loud, but I graduated high school in the year 2000. When this last quarter century started, I was basically just getting out of high school. And now I'm sitting here on New Year's Day, 2026, thinking, okay, what is the next quarter century going to look like? What do I want it to look like? God willing, I'm around for the next 25 years, of course. But assuming that I am, what kind of life am I building toward? And I don't like getting too heavy, but it's real. When you think about in 25-year increments, you also start to realize not everybody you love is going to be there with you through the whole thing. Some friends won't make it. Some people near and dear to you won't be there for the whole journey. And thinking about it this way gives you perspective on how you want to live, on what relationships matter, on who you want to be around you, and not just who you want, but what you want to be doing along the way as well. What activities do you want in your life for the next 25 years? What habits, what routines, what things are serving you, what's not serving you? What things are you spending your time on right now that are actually worth continuing? And what things are distractions? Because the truth is, we only get so much time on this planet, whether we want to acknowledge that or not. So thinking about how we spend it is crucial, especially if we want to make the most of it and if we want to make whatever impact it is that we're meant to make or that we're looking to make. Now, there's one thing I've noticed around this time of the year, and I don't really know where this came from, and I don't know if it's just my social media feed or why the algorithm thinks I want to see this. I personally don't remember liking this type of content so that the algorithm would continue to feed it to me, but I'm seeing it, and I keep seeing it, and I'd like to bring this up. It's the whole thing around people making New Year's resolutions and failing. There's even a term for it. I think it's called something like resolutioners or something like that, because it's basically making fun of the idea of resolutions because people don't keep them. Like they start to use stats and numbers to build a case around really quitting. So all the stats, most people quit by day 2, or most people stop going to the gym by day 7, or that kind of content. And I think there's real harm in giving attention to that attitude, because there really is an underlying message there. And the message is, why try? If you're going to fail anyway, why try? And to me, that's dangerous. We're not perfect. None of us are. I think we'd all agree with that. And of course, we're going to make commitments and fall short sometimes. We're human. Of course, we're going to fail. But optimism, like real optimism, it's part of what allows humanity to progress. If we're all just throwing in the towel because we might not succeed, that also stifles creativity. That stifles productivity. That holds us back. So I would encourage people, give yourself a little bit of a break on this one. Make your resolutions. And if you fail and if you fall, get back on the horse, as they say, right? Try again. Keep trying. Maybe you're listening to this right now and you've already not kept good on your New Year's resolution. Give yourself another redo. It's okay. You said you were going to go to the gym and you didn't. Okay, go. Now this is a happy New Year's again. Go. Okay. There goes another reset this year for you. And if you're one of the people that say, I don't make resolutions, I'm not judging you because I tend to, and I like doing that, and I find optimism there. I'm not judging you, but I'd encourage you to examine where that came from. Like, did you never make resolutions, even as a kid? Like when you were 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 10, did you you were the one kid that said, no, I'm not making a resolution. Why? Because they're silly. Like, when did that happen? Or what? Or was there some type of letdown, or was there a moment where you stopped making them? Was there something else that influenced you? So I'd encourage you to examine that. What age were you when you decided that resolutions didn't matter, and why? Because if you go back to the root cause, you might find something there. Maybe you adopted a pattern that doesn't have to be yours going forward, or maybe it does work for you, and maybe you listen to this and you're like, Adam, yeah, I hear you. Good job, buddy, but I don't care. I'm not into resolutions. Fair enough. I could take that too. But I'd still encourage you to think back long and hard to the point where you made that decision, because you never know. It's worth exploring. This was what's on my mind on New Year's Day 2026. A quarter century closed, another one opened. And whether you're the type who loves resolutions or hates them, I hope you take a moment to zoom out of your chart of life and ask yourself, what do you want to do, and what do you want the next 25 years to look like, and who do you want on that journey with you?